Right. The top court has in fact asked the central government to draft a model national builder-buyer and agent-buyer agreements to protect flat buyers. Brushing aside centre's defence that it's state's responsibility, the Supreme Court has said that the central government cannot shirk any responsibility on this matter. The top court held that the buyers cannot be left at the mercy of the realtors and getting fleeced by them. Multiple pleas have been filed in the Supreme Court and have sought a direction to centre to frame agreements to protect buyers. So this is the latest that we're getting. In fact, we're focusing on our channel on the campaign that we are following in terms of home buyers left without homes because of the multiple problems that they face. But this is a Supreme Court's stinging words, observations which have been made to the centre, in which, if I can just read out what are the top observations which have been made by court on this. The Supreme Court has said that centre can frame law under the national model law. Builders often prepare bulky sale agreements. That's something that the Supreme Court highlighted after looking at the petitions. Builders include clauses that helps them fleece buyers. That's another point which has been raised by the top court. And then the top court, of course, observed that they're concerned by the plight of middle-class buyers. In fact, home buyers across the country are suffering on account of default from builders. In Mumbai's Mulund area, at least 450 families have been waiting for nearly 12 years to get their dream home. In 2010, the families had booked their houses in an under-construction building but are still awaiting possession of these flats. The project promised to hand over possession by 2013. Construction began in 2011 and continued till 2015, and only 18 out of the 42 floors have been constructed so far. Post that, construction stopped. Builder was unable to pay bank dues. The builder currently is in jail, and home buyers are left stranded.
What was the feeling at that point, and how do you react to it now, seeing that, the home is way too far right now for you?
No, actually, at the time of booking, the date was 10/10/10. We thought it's a lucky date, and we are going to have our dream house. My husband, he works abroad, he stays in Bangladesh, and we have booked a flat over here, 2 BHK. Now my father-in-law is 76 years old, Papa ko. Abhi tak humko ye ghar nahi mila. We are staying still in the old house where we used to stay.
We invested all our hard-earned money. We took loans so that, we could go into a new house, give our kids a good life. The house which we had, where we used to stay, we sold that house so that we can pay the builder all the demand notices and do not default on that part of our, we kept our part of goodwill. After 10 years also, we are like lost. We don't have anyone who can help us, who can govern us, who can tell us, that we are not lost. Somebody is there to look upon. Like, if there is justice, we are still waiting for it. It's been like almost 14 years.
I think I booked this flat on 2010, 7th October 2010. I think 2 days after this project was launched, because I've been staying here for my whole life I've been staying in Mulund, and this was one of the prime location what I thought, and I had a lot of my dreams over here when I bought it, and I almost paid 70 to 80% of my money on this. We have gone through a lot of trauma, from one court to another court, we have been fighting here and there. I know a lot of people like me who are paying EMIs, who are paying rent, so many things are going on, we are lost now, where to go,
This project basically started in October of 2010. Between October of 2010 and September of 2015, this project has been stalled twice. Once due to some change in the rules of BMC with regards to the fungible FSI, and once just for no specific reason the project was stalled. That breather came to us on 4th of January 22, and from that period we have about 90 days, which is around 4th of April 22. So I hope in the next whatever time that we have left from today until 4th of April 22, something comes up for the home buyers.
On this, I'm joined by Mr. Chandrasekhar Prabhu, town planner, on the main angle of the Supreme Court actually asking the centre to take responsibility and to come up with a model builder-buyer pact. Mr. Prabhu, thank you so much for sparing time and talking to us on this important issue, which we have been on this channel following for days now. But what we can look at is that this is an ideal case scenario, that the Supreme Court is in fact asking the centre that they should create a pact which is feasible for both the buyers and the builders, so that it does not give, of course, more in favor of the buyers, because the Supreme Court has noted that builders include clauses that help them to fleece buyers, and builders often prepare bulky sale agreements. So these are two menaces that top court has pointed out. Do you think that it is possible to come up with an agreement which could be ideally best for the builder and the buyer in this situation, or will there still be loopholes that go unnoticed?
See, the Supreme Court has time and again ruled in several cases, not connected to real estate or buyers, in several cases, that an agreement between two parties cannot be one-sided. And if it is one-sided, just favoring one party, then that agreement could be declared ab initio null and void. The agreement between builders and buyers is always one-sided, because buyer never has a right to even suggest any changes. The builder says that, look, this is the agreement, either you sign or you don't sign. If you sign, you get the house. If you don't sign, you are out. So this has to change. There has to be a standard agreement which is balanced on both the sides, which should be mandatory for the builder to use. And if the buyer wants certain specific clauses included, he has the right. He should have the right to suggest it to the builder and negotiate for a good agreement. That is one part of the whole story. This I'm trying to say where the builder has bought a land and the buyer is buying a flat on a greenfield project. Now in places like Mumbai, most 99% of the projects are brownfield projects, wherein the people are already staying and the builder comes in and he promises them the whole world, and then they makes them vacate their houses, and the only house they have in their lifetime gets demolished. The builder initially pays certain amount of rent, and after that he just stops. And these people cannot afford to pay rent and come on the streets. Good people living in good houses, middle class people, bank manager, police inspectors, employees of government have been rendered homeless, and since they cannot afford to pay rent because builder has stopped it, they have, from good housing, they have to stay in a slum. I mean, I have seen a couple of bank managers living in slums because builders have stopped paying them the rent.
Oh,
now,
Lord.
in these, there should be penal clauses that should be made. The state governments have been, successive state governments have been doing nothing. 5,800 such projects in Mumbai alone have been stalled, and 1,25,900 odd families, covering about 7 lakh people, are on the streets for no fault of theirs, only the fault of builders, and government does nothing. So something needs to be done in such cases, and not just the central government can always make a guideline, but real estate is within the purview of the state government. Under the, it's not even in the concurrent list. It is the state government's responsibility. So every state government must come with a law which protects the buyers, and not just the buyers. See, in one case, if it is a buyer who's buying a flat, he may have certain house where he is already staying. But in Mumbai, your hard-earned money has been put in a house and you have vacated that house. So you have nowhere to go. In such cases,
Mr.
there
Prabhu?
must be a law and implementation should be there.
Right, exactly. And that is the point that, even when there are rules made on paper, implementation often becomes the difference, actually, obviously, and which is why we've seen so many home buyers suffering. Thank you so much for joining us on this discussion.